Om Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhavatu Me Bho Rama Mamuddhara. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangai Stushtuvagum Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarksho Arishtanemihi Swasti no Bruhaspatir Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. 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 12th mantra. Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmanah Nirvedamayan nastakritah krutena Tadvijnanartham sagurumeva bhigachet. Samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtham. In Sadhana Chatushtaya, when we say Mumukshutvam, desire to seek liberation, that is something very unique to a person. Many might be doing sadhana, but not necessary everybody wants moksha. Many might be seeking God, not necessary that they want God. And it is said this desire for liberation cannot be forced upon anybody. If at all it is there, Shankaracharya says that is God's grace. Mumukshutvam is Ishvara Anugrahat Eva. Only with Bhagavan's grace, Mumukshutvam comes to a person. Now the question is, on whom does Bhagavan shower this grace? Is he partial in showering on few people and not showering on others? Such mantras tell us what is the responsibility of the student such that he becomes recipient of God's grace for Mumukshutvam. On his side, he is supposed to think deeply. On his side, he is supposed to examine life experiences in the light of what Upanishads want him to think. Upanishad only said Pariksha Lokan, Karma Chitan. This whole world is product of karma, therefore it is impermanent. Think about it deeply. Now on our own, if we have to do it, it is difficult. Wherever we have some kind of attachment, to think deeper about that thing is difficult. Most likely our thinking will stop at level 1, what meets the eye. So Shankaracharya ji, with lot of compassion, is elaborating those two words, Pariksha Lokan. What does it mean to examine? And in which way should we think? In what way should we think such that our examination is in the right direction? It is just like when a patient goes to a doctor and doctor asks him what happened. He is trying to say what happened, but he is not able to verbalize it. What does a doctor do? He will add vocabulary. Is this what is happening? And I say, yes, that is what is happening. So just like the doctor adds vocabulary to help articulate patient's experience, Shankaracharya is adding vocabulary to help us articulate our own understanding of samsara. Really speaking, nobody needs to tell us what is samsara, because we all know what it is. But the thing is to precisely tell it, to precisely articulate and understand that this is not what I am seeking, or there is something beyond this also. For that we need guidance. So when it came to examining Parikshanam, Shankaracharya said we have to take support of a framework. We have to analyze it through Pratyaksha, then Anumana and Agama. Pratyaksha means in our own lives, looking at the other side of objects, the limitations of sense objects and every experience. The first quality was, in every joy there is some sorrow hidden. Dukkha Mishritatva. Worldly joys are such, it has joy also and some sorrow also will come, and sorrow cannot cancel that joy. Both will remain. Brahmanandam is unlike that. The joy of absolute truth, abiding in that truth is such, in that bliss everything else gets negated. It is not that Brahmananda also stays and samsara dukkha also remains. When a person wakes up from dream sorrow has to end first. I cannot say I have woken up from dream, but the dream sorrow is still continuing. Like that, when a person wakes up from jivatva, sorrow of jiva, sorrow in this transactional plane ends for good. In what way does it end? He understands I am that self in which there is no trace of sorrow. In Chaitanya Swarupa Atma, there is no trace of Anatma from which dukkham is coming. But here Shankaracharya wants us to think, in all worldly joys, there is sorrow mixed with joy. Dukkha Mishritatva. Second one was, no matter how much we try to satiate our senses, they will never get content. Atrupti Karatvam. First one was Dukkha Mishritatvam. Second is Atrupti Karatvam. No matter how much he satiates, it just keeps growing more and more. It is like trying to put off a fire by adding fuel to it. Then there are some erroneous things which if he interacts with, or even good things also, they will create deeper vasanas which will come to bind that person again. Third limitation is bandhakaratvam, or you can say bandhakarakatvam. Bandhakarakatvam, that object as though makes this person bound. 3 limitations, Bhagavan says, notice it in your own life. Just like we are seeing limitations in our life, Anumana should tell us, no matter who that person is, everybody's story is the same. Dukkham is there in everybody's life. Worldly joys have never given absolute contentment to anybody. It might look from outside that I am miserable, somebody else is happy. But Shankaracharya says you have to gather very firm data. Anumana means you get data and you extrapolate to something where you have not seen yet. So our own life experiences we have seen. Somebody else's life we have not seen. He says gather data here and extrapolate that same conclusion to each and every person. Don't set erroneous goals that if I become like that person, I will be happy. Only when we understand I am not a person, I am that infinite consciousness, unconditioned by these conditionings, untouched by these conditionings, that is the only way to Sukham, permanent bliss, not anything else. Then Agama was to extrapolate to other worlds. Just like here, there are limitations. Even in Swargaloka, there will be limitations. The very fact Indra is the king means other people are citizens. So there is distinction between king and citizen. It might be Swargaloka. This is Pariksha Lokan. See if you can find something that you can take support in this world for permanent happiness. If you don't, he says, don't get dejected. It's a good news. If you analyze this world and came to this conclusion that there is nothing here which is going to give us permanent ananda, he says, don't become khinna, become prasanna. Bhagavan Rama, after this was his analysis in Yoga Vasishta, in the beginning part, he looks at this world and he says, what am I seeking as goal of life? Jivan Nirvaha, to keep our life going, we will have to do so many things. Nobody is addressing those topics here. What if life goal becomes seeking something in this world, which is impermanent? Then he wonders, where am I going? Then Vasishtha Maharshi says, don't worry, this is a very good sign. Dashrath Maharaj gets worried actually. He says, what happened to my son? He doesn't talk, very quiet, contemplative all the time. Vasishtha Maharshi says, this is sign of true Vairagya. This is what we had seen in the last session, Pariksha Lokan, and we saw the Bhashya part also. If you can come to the part of Bhashya which is after Lokan. If you are having the small Gita Press book, it is page 42, line number 7. Lokan Sansaragati Bhutan, line 7 from the top. Did you all find? Lokan Sansaragati Bhutan Avyaktadi Sthavarantan. Online, did you all find? Okay, good. I would highly encourage, remind you all once again to please highlight the words from Bhashya. See how quickly you can find it. Go to the word in the Bhashya. Part after that is what we are chanting now. Lokan Sansaragati Bhutan Avyaktadi Sthavarantan Vyakrita Avyakrita Lakshanan Bijankuravate Itaretara Utpatti Nimittan Aneka Anartha Shatasahasra Sankulan Kadali Garbhavat Asaran Maya Marichi Udaka Gandharva Nagara Akaran Swapna Jala Budbuda Phena Saman Pratikshana Pradvamsan Prishtatah Krutva Lokan. What is this loka? Sansara Gati Bhutan. Whoever has come here, they have to, their Gati is samsara only. Gati is samsara only. Avyaktadi sthavarantan. What is the vastness of this world? It starts from avyakta, unmanifest, and goes all the way until this gross material world. So within that, subtle world is included. Subtle world means the thought part of it. In our own personality, we have gross body, which is sthavara. It expresses sentiency, but it is gross, it is inert. Then we have unmanifest vasanas, which we ourselves don't know what is stored there, the blueprint of our thoughts. But in addition to that, we have an in-between layer also, which is thoughts. I cannot say I have only vasanas and gross body. Then who is running the show? Thoughts are also there. Just like we can appreciate thoughts in Vyashti, there are thoughts in Samashti also. Means in totality, that creation also has subtle creation. And in the gross world that we see, Vedanta Sara said, there are 14 worlds. Panchikrita Pancha Mahabhuta, different combinations and proportions of that, you have 14 worlds. Raw material is 5 elements only. That is the vastness of this creation. He says, even thinking about it, mind starts, feeling very small. That we are nothing in front of how vast this creation is. Vyakruta avyakruta lakshana. It doesn't stay same all the time. It manifests and unmanifests. There is this cycle of manifestation and unmanifestation of this creation. That is its nature. Meaning there was a time when all names and forms were dissolved in that pure consciousness. They were in seed form. From that, it emerges out whenever the appropriate time has come. Bijankuravat iteretara utpatti nimittan. And this creation is such, you cannot pinpoint a particular cause and say this creation has come from this cause alone. Because the cause and effect are interrelated. So let us say you say, karma is the cause. And karma phala is this whole universe creation. So what came first, you cannot identify. Only when we did karma, karma phala was there. Only because karma phala is there, more karma is done in form of vasanas. We do karma, result has to come. Once that result is experienced, that becomes the seed for more karma. Because vasanas have been created, they push us into more actions. So if you ask, okay, who is the cause and what is the effect? He says both are interdependent. The real answer is, both of these things are appearing in consciousness. Sometimes when we get this question, why is this creation here? One answer is to experience the results of karma. The real answer is, there is only consciousness. The variety that we see is because our attention is not on consciousness. But anyway, here that is not the topic. Here the topic is inquire into nature of this loka. Cause, effect, cause, effect. At some point, it will fall apart. Vidyaranya Swamiji says, if you ask 2-3 questions about this world, the only sentence you have to say is, Ajnanam Sharanam Tava. O ignorance, I surrender to you. How this jiva comes, how this human body is born, there is one elaborate description called as Panchagni Vidya. 5 stations are given how the jiva enters mother's womb. So first he comes from rain, then he goes into earth, then comes into the food, then in the male body, then in the female body, then becomes bhumishta, then comes on earth. For each station there is one samskara. So it is based on that Panchagni Vidya. When the child is born, there is one samskara. Mother's womb, there is one samskara. You feel so nice. It is so systematically given, it all makes logical sense. If you just ask the question, how come he is falling from rain? If you go beyond rain, suddenly you realize the cause-effect breaks. The only thing you can say is, na kaschid jayate jivaha. Sambhavosya atra na vidyate. There is no entity called as jiva, there is only Chaitanya. But because we need an explanation, for Adhyaropa, there are different explanations given. It is not to say that jiva is actually born. If our mind becomes quiet, they say, shift attention to consciousness and see whether jivatva remains or not. Gain knowledge of Mahavakya. Systematically transcend conditionings and see whether you see this world again or not. From standpoint of consciousness, world starts losing its grip, starts losing its hold over us. If not disappearing, at least it will become weaker. When we look at this world from the standpoint of consciousness, the reality that we give to this world, that will get weakened. Itaretara utpatti nimittan. It is interrelated. Aneka anartha sahasra sankulan. It is filled with so many problems. So many anartha. Anartha means things that which we don't want. Mind will get stuck. Physical body will get stuck. Whatever we think as ours. One is aham, another is mama. Same things, even there it will apply. Problems can come to us or to that thing which I consider as mine. That is the meaning of this aneka anartha sahasra sankulan. We had seen the example of cloth on a thorn. You are walking somewhere and the cloth gets stuck. If you pull it, it will tear. So our mind will get stuck with so many things of this world. Small thing somebody says early in the morning, whole day gone. Aneka anartha sankulan it is. Mind has gotten stuck with that. That is our samsara. For each of these things, we have to sit down and find examples from our life. That is when these things will open up more. How staying as this jiva, one cannot be free from anartha. Anartha here means different types of experiences that come our way. Mana, apamana. At body level, Shita Ushna, different experiences. Mind level is praise and criticism. Mana, apamana. Next he says, Kadali Garbhavat Asaran. Means it is as essenceless. Sara means essence. Asara means no essence. Means you cannot, really speaking, derive anything out of it. You cannot make any productive use out of it. Just like the plantain stalk. You keep opening it, you will not find anything. Like that he says, this world, if we chase for Ananda, we will not find it. We will not find even a little bit over here. Now again, these things we have to find examples. Then he says, Maya Marichi, Udaka. It is created by Maya, means it looks like a magic show. What was not there yesterday, today it suddenly appears. What was there today, tomorrow it disappears. That is magic show. Maya, it is created with these three gunas. And Marichi Udaka, like the mirage water in desert, it keeps appearing from one place to another. Means Ananda, this refers to joy in this world. Although we find that I walked here and I did not find something here, still the running doesn't stop. Because this person feels, oh, I see it somewhere else. Maybe there it is. We might change cities, we might change jobs, we might change countries, just with this one little line, Maya Marichi Udaka. Oh, by the way, on every word of this, you will find one Kabir Dasji's composition. Every word, huh? He says, Janama taro baat mein beet gayo. Kabahu abahu na Rama kahyo. This is your whole life went in talking. Even now you have not said Bhagavan's holy name. 5 baras ka bhola bhala abato 20 bhayo. That little boy of 5 years has now become 20. Magar pachisi maya karana desa videsa gayo. Because of this hope of getting joy, because of Maya, he went from one place to another. That is this Maya Marichi Udaka. You see, Shankaracharya says, just analyze it more closely, how we are going from one place to another, seeking for this joy, one person to another. There is another composition, he says, Nai harava hamakana bhave. The feeling of that is, there is a newly wed bride who is coming back to her parents' home. And she says, this home of mine is not looking appealing anymore. My mind is not happy over here. And she says, I'm missing my beloved. But the problem is, there are no messengers to take my message to my beloved. And beloved's home is such, nobody comes and goes. Sai ki nagari, parama ati sundara, jaha koi aave na jave. Means that pure consciousness, she says, once I have gone there, coming back to this world doesn't look appealing anymore. But how should I tell him that I am missing him? There are no messengers, nobody goes there, nobody comes. Very profound composition, but it conveys the emotion. There is that blissful self and there is worldly existence. It's a choice which one we choose to live in. Another place, there is a dialogue between leaf and a tree. Patta bola vruksha se, suno vruksha bana rae. That leaf is telling, we are together right now, but you never know when the wind will come and I will fly somewhere else. I don't know when I will see you next. Then that tree gives teaching to that leaf with lot of love. He says this is the nature of this world. Coming and going is the nature of this world. Make sure that when we are together, we are taking Bhagavan's name. We are utilizing our time well. When we are together, he says, have good relations with people. Because it's so short, there is no point in living a life with agitation. Anyway, where were we? Maya Marichi Udaka. Gandharva Nagara Akara. This is where we had stopped last time. Gandharva Nagara Akara means it is like this celestial city in the sky. Now this example has been given to show that we cannot take support over here. Ashraya Ayogyata. Ashraya Ayogyata means like the celestial city, especially when you are flying in an airplane, if you look out of the window, it looks so beautiful, the clouds, as though there is a parallel universe up there. Because it looks beautiful, if you tell, I just want to go out a little, you will come straight down. You cannot take support in that loka. Like that, Bhagavan says, this world itself is like that Gandharva Nagara. No matter who that person is, he says we can take help. Sahayata we can take. But Ashraya we should take only in God, not in any person. Gandharva Nagara Akara Swapna Jala Budbuda Phena. It is like dream. Another example given is dream example. Means you feel like there is so much vyavahara going on. Just like in dream, if somebody were to tell us while we are dreaming that it's not real, we would not believe. There is so much of transaction going on. Like that in this world also, so much vyavahara goes on. But it's one consciousness projecting as this whole universe. Just like it is one waking mind projecting as dream, which has become the inert objects and sentient objects. Like that, one consciousness has become this whole universe, including inert and sentient. And it is Jala Budbuda Phena Saman. Jala Budbuda Phena Saman means it is like the foam on the ocean. Jala Budbuda Phena. The bubbles and the foam on the ocean. Really speaking, it is only ocean. But because of those waves, one appears as two. Like that, one consciousness appears as consciousness and this world. This is Drigdrisha Viveka also, this example is given. Abdhau Phenadivat Sarva Nama Rupa Prasarana. Just like the foam is present on the water, foam is present in the water, like that names and forms are present in consciousness. They are not independent. Jala Budbuda Phena Saman Pratikshana Pradvamsan. Every moment it is getting destroyed. If not getting destroyed, it is changing. That is one signature of creation. Constant change. Some change is so subtle we cannot notice it. That we are growing old, we don't notice it. If you meet somebody 10 years later, suddenly you realize how tall he has become. Or some other, if it is Asti Vardate Jayate, one Viparinamate, another characteristics we notice. But it is very subtle and small. Pratikshana Pradvamsan Prushtata Krutva. Prushtata Krutva means put all this behind. Having put all this behind. Prushtata means going beyond these things, having seen these limitations, going beyond them. What does he do? Avidya kama dosha pravartita karmachitan dharma dharma nivartitan dharma dharma nirvartitan dharma dharma nirvartitan nirvartitan, huh? Ra is there. Nirvartitan. Ityetat brahmanasya eva visheshatah adhikarah sarvatyagena brahma vidyayam iti brahmana grahanam prushtata krutva, having put behind avidya kama dosha pravartita karma chitan, this world which has come because of anusthana of karma, because of taking some special karma or doing some special karma, but it is born out of ignorance. Root of karma, you can say, grandfather of karma is ignorance. Father is desire. Ignorance, desire and action, this is the root of this multitude of universe that we experience, because it is karma phala. What brought that karma phala is karma. What brought karma is kama. What brought kama is avidya. So if avidya is gone, then those karmas which we do for happiness, those karmas also should reduce, get eliminated. If not eliminated, at least reduce. Karma chitan, dharma adharma nirvartitan, means they are prompted by dharma and adharma. All these karmas, if he has to go to Swarga, for example, then dharma will prompt him to do certain things. Because if I do this, I will get this particular result. We are not talking about a person who is doing for Chitta Shuddhi. That you always keep separate, otherwise we'll get confused. This is desire prompted action for a particular result. So those kind of actions he is analyzing and looking at the limitations of such actions. Says, even if I get this result, it is only short-lived. Dharma adharma nirvartitan ityetad brahmanasya eva visheshata adhikaraha. To study Brahma Vidya, even if somebody has gotten this thought process, a Brahmana is actually the fit student to study this Brahma Vidya. Sarvatyagena. We'll see the word Brahmana. Just look at the literal meaning. Sarvatyagena means without coloring his mind with any worldly things. See, Tyaga is more importantly at mind level. Also at physical level. Literal Tyaga is one part of it. But what is most important is mentally he should feel that these things are not useful to me anymore. Because you will notice, same object might be in the proximity of two people, but both don't get affected in the same way. If mind has taste for it, that object looks appealing. Mind doesn't have taste for it, object can be there, it's harmless. So this Brahmana is the one who has done Sarvatyaga. No worldly desire he gives importance to, because he himself has seen the hollowness of all of them. Sarvatyagena Brahma Vidyayamiti Brahmana Grahanam. Now there is one verse which talks about who is the true Brahmana. Sarvatyagena means he has given up everything. But what is his wealth then? If he has given up everything, does he have something? He said this is the true wealth of a Brahmana. First one is ekata. Ekata means having the vision of oneness. Having the vision of oneness, that is wealth of a Brahmana. In every aspect of creation, he sees the divine. That is ekata. What we have been seeing in 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this whole creation has come from God. So in every aspect of creation, seeing God. Second one is samata. Samata means equanimity. Never takes sides. Doesn't sway on opinions. That is the quality of a Brahmana, samata. And satyata. Satyata means truthfulness. Truthfulness is very interesting. If somebody asks a simple question, if we give the correct answer, it is not satyata. It is not the only meaning of satyata. If somebody says, which day is today? I say Thursday. You see, that is good answer, but that is not satyata which is meant over here. Means if I tell the truth, I might lose something for myself. I might miss an opportunity. Still, if I say the truth, that is satyata, Brahmana's quality. Some skill, let us say, they say, do you have this skill? I know if I say no, they will not take me along. Still, if I say that no, I don't know this, that is satyata. Then is Sheelam. Sheelam means Sheelam Sthitihi. Sheelam Sthiti means not transgressing good character. Even if the situation is very demanding, this person's qualities are such that he doesn't transgress his character. Sheelam Sthitihi. And next one is Danda Nidhihi. Danda Nidhanam. Danda Nidhanam means non-violence. Doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't harm anybody. Danda Nidhanam. Last one is weakening of doership. Weakening of doership. Because more the doership, stronger is his karma vasana. And when doership is strong, Vedanta will not appeal. This verse is from Mahabharata, Shanti Parva. What is the true wealth of a Brahmana? Okay, what was the first one? Ekata means oneness. Samata is equanimity. Satyata is truthfulness. Sheelam Sthiti is not transgressing good character. Danda Nidhanam is non-violence. There is one more, Arjavam. Arjavam is straightforwardness. Straightforwardness. And the last one is Uparamaha Kriyabhya. Uparamaha Kriyabhya means no doership. In Vedanta, whenever they say give up karma, one way to understand it is give up strong doership in karma. Weaken strong doership in karma. Because literal meaning of that you cannot apply. Nobody can give up karma completely. So we can say give up kamya karma first. Give up nishiddha karma first. That we can give up 100%. In that way. Okay, so such a person alone, although Vedanta teaching might be available to everybody, but one who has this inner conditioning, this inner mindset, that person is the fit student. Okay, parikshalokan kim. Parikshalokan kim kuryat iti uchyate nirvedam nifpurvah vidihi atra vairagyarthe vairagyam ayat kuryat iti etat sah vairagya prakarah pradarsyate. Parikshalokan kim kuryat. After analyzing the world, what should I do? He says, don't stop there. Once you have gotten this way of thinking, once you've started analyzing in this way, put forth effort to increase Vairagya. Kuryat means it's an injunction. One should do this. Parikshalokan kim kuryat iti uchyate. What should be done? This is being said now. Nirvedam. Nirvedam means nih purvaha vidihi atra vairagyarthe. With upasarga, if you add with dhatu, if you add nir upasarga before that, becomes nirveda. With means to know. It's very interesting. Huh? If you add nir before that, it means vairagya. How will you explain this? He has no interest in knowing anything of this world with a promise of joy. If somebody comes to glorify some place, some experience, some person, I went there and I saw this, it was so nice, so beautiful. In his mind, he is repeating this mantra. Nirvedam ayat pariksha lokan. The one who doesn't have any interest to know things out of joy. Again, don't take this in the context of he loses interest in this world. I mean, this nature is so beautiful. There are so many things to know. What is being pointed out here is knowing with the hope that this will give me joy. In that he has disinterest. Mahima Mandan. No over glorification of anything of this world. Vairagyarthe. That word is clear, right? Nirveda. That with dhatu means to know. Nirveda means no interest to know too many things of this world. With that with dhatu only, different words are formed. That's the beauty of Sanskritam. If you say some with, if you add some upasarga to with dhatu, it becomes consciousness. That which knows very well, that is Chaitanya. That which knows everything, that is consciousness. So if you add nir before it, it becomes Vairagya. No interest to know anything. Vairagyam ayat kuryat iti etat. Kuryat means it will naturally not happen. This way of thinking, we have to convert it into Vairagya. Saha Vairagya prakaraha pradarshate. Now, what is the nature of this Vairagya? What is the dialogue that is happening in his mind that is being shown next? So where have we reached? Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmana. We saw the word brahmana. Nirvedam ayat. Until that point we have covered in Bhashya. Now we are continuing. Iha samsare nasti kaschit api akrutah padarthah sarva eva hi lokaha karmachitaha karmakrutatvat cha anityaha na nityam kinchit asti iti abhiprayah sarvam tu karma anityasya eva sadhanam. Yasmat chaturvidham eva hi sarvam karma karyam utpadyam apyam samskaryam vikaryam va na atah param karmanah visheshah asti aham cha nityena amrutena abhayena kootasthena achalena dhruvena arthena arthi natadviparitena इह संसारे नास्ति कश्चिदपि अकृतः पदार्थः. What is this analysis of Pariksha Lokan? That in this whole universe, there is nothing which is akruta, means which is not product of karma. Objects here and in other worlds, everything is result of karma only. Sarva eva hi lokaha karma chitaha karma krutatvacha anityaha. All worlds are product of karma, and whatever is product of karma, it is impermanent, it is anitya. Na nityam kinchid asti iti abhiprayah. There is nothing which is permanent over here. If it has to open up more, we have to replace objects with sukham. Really speaking, objects being impermanent is not a concern. Sukham being impermanent. Impermanent sukham is another name for dukkham only. Sukham that will be taken away, that is another name for sorrow. Is to see if you can find any sukham which is going to stay permanently. Student says no, I did not find anything like that. Sarvam tu karma anityasya eva sadhanam. If this is the nature of this world, then the karma which I glorified so much, really speaking, it is a means for attaining impermanent thing. This is how he is thinking now, that karma is means for impermanence. Yasmat chaturvidam eva hi sarvam karma karyam. Karma can give only 4 types of results. First one is utpadyam. If something is not there, we can create it. Like a seed, we can sow and new plant can come, utpadyam. Or apyam, we can get it from somewhere. We don't have it, we can get it from somewhere. Purchase it from the supermarket. Samskaryam, you can wash it and purify it. It is in one state, but before you can consume it, you can purify it, samskaryam. And vikaryam. Vikaryam means you can modify it. Only 4 things. You apply it to any object, you will notice these 4 things only karma can do. If you take table for example, or a chair, if you don't have one, you can build one. If you don't want to build, you can purchase one. If one of the legs is imbalanced, you can do samskaryam, make it balanced. Or if you want to change it, I don't know if people do it, but let's say you want to reduce the height, make it like a Japanese table. You can reduce the height, that is called as vikaryam. He says, other than these 4, karma cannot do anything more. So think about whatever we are doing in our day-to-day life. Either we are trying to produce something, or we are trying to get something, or it is already there and you are trying to purify it, samskaryam. Or the 4th one is vikaryam. We are trying to modify it from one thing to another. Na atah param karmanah visheshah asti. There is nothing more than these things to karma. Means karma can give only these things. Now what I am seeking, he says, that is not which needs any of these four things. What I am seeking is that truth which doesn't need to be purchased, doesn't need to be produced, doesn't need to be purified, nor it needs to be modified. So if that is the case, then karma is not my means to attain my goal. That is his understanding. Aham cha nityena amrutena abhayena. I am seeking that truth which is nitya, eternal. It doesn't need to be produced because it is eternal, it is always there. Amrutena. Amrutena means it is of the nature of bliss. Abhayena, it is of the nature of fearlessness. Kutasthena, it is the substratum. Kutastha means like the anvil. The goldsmith will make different names and forms. Names and forms will come and go. The anvil will remain the same. Like that, consciousness is the anvil for this whole creation. Different names and forms of this creation come and go. Consciousness remains the same. That is what I am seeking. Achalena dhruvena artha. Achalena dhruvena, which is unmoving and which is never going to perish. Dhruvena. Arthena arthi. This is what I am seeking. Natad viparithena. Not contrary to it. What is the main point here? What am I supposed to do with karma? Or what use is that karma to me who is seeking such a goal? Shankaracharya says our Vairagya should lead us to here. First we have to analyze the world, pariksha lokan, understand that world is karma chitan, product of karma. Then nirveda mayat, one should do Vairagya, increase Vairagya. What is the nature of Vairagya? Nasti akrutah krutena. In this world, everything is karma phala. And what I am seeking is that which cannot be attained through karma. What I am seeking is not karma phala. Consciousness is not result of an action. Until that point, he has to come. Then to gain knowledge of that consciousness, he goes to Vedanta. This point is so important because a person might be studying Vedanta, but still somebody might feel, I have to do something now. Or the question might be, I have studied Vedanta, now what should I do? Both are erroneous thinking, because Vedanta says what you are seeking as the truth is not a result of action. And its nature is such that action cannot get it for us. Okay, so please mark your Bhashya. We will start with Atah Kim Krutena Karmana. Okay, so that Krutena word is from Bhashya. So next class we will start from that. Oh, I didn't see, a lot of questions are here. How did life begin from rain? It is not clear. That was the point. It will never become clear because it is part of an explanation. It is not to show that Jivatva is real. Some are having creative ideas. Maya Marichi Udaka is a profound statement which should become a slogan on t-shirts. Dharma Dharma Nivartitam is what I see. Is it Nivartitam in your book? Nirvartitam. Varta dhatu it is. Varta means to prompt or go. So Nirvartitam means that which is prompting. Nirvartita. Ra is there. Okay. For Danda Nidhanam is absolute non-violence possible. Example, Krishna Bhagwan was also part of Mahabharata war. On similar lines, for Samatha, how is it possible not to take sides when it comes to Dharma? One thing we'll have to notice, if we are seeking Brahma, then the responsibilities or the injunctions even for Dharma become less for that person. So there are two stages of his evolution. Mind cannot abide in Brahma if there is too much concern about the previous step. This is a matter of fact. So that's a different discussion. That is Dharma level discussion, do's and don'ts. Whenever we discuss Mahabharata or values, then we can discuss that part. How does one live in this world not wanting to know different things? How should we understand Vairagya more in this context? See, that's why we had discussed, it is not talking about, let us say your work demands that you have to know something about AI. No, you cannot say Nastya Krutah Krutena, Nirveda Mayat. There is one kind of knowing which comes to us through different places. Advertisement, for example. What is the main goal of advertisement? Plant a desire. Once it is planted, work is done. That person will take the next step of trying to find out where it is available, how it is available. Now, sadhaka is somebody in whom you cannot plant a desire. That is the meaning of that word, nirvedam. No matter what that topic is, his mind is closed for worldly talks. Dharmic talks, they are always welcome. If you read Ishwar Darshanam, Taponji Maharaj writes, my mind would push me to go for Kailash Yatra. So Vairagya is not in such a way that he has no interest in seeing the world. We should see the description of the beauty of Kailasha, beauty of his treks that he writes in that book. And right after that, he will quote Upanishad mantra and connect that scenery with an Upanishad mantra. He says, Brahman is like this. So there is no harm in knowing about nature, knowing about sattvic things. But if it comes with this rajasic and tamasic conditions attached to it, tendencies attached to it, that is what we have to be careful. Okay, so this Saturday morning class will be only online, no in person. We are having the class 6:30 to 7 meditation, 7 to 8 Bhagavad Gita chapter 13. I'll be taking it from Sacramento. I'm heading there tomorrow. We have 3-day session, Bharata Charitra. If you know somebody there, please do let them know. Okay, Saturday morning class is there, only online. Please don't come in person. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti